And a very good morning to you. Welcome to this morning's United Kingdom talk here on United Kingdom Radio. My name's Chris Reardon. Hope you're well. If you're with us, it's 11 o'clock on Tuesday, almost the end of September, isn't it? Tuesday the, Tuesday the 28th of September 2010. If that's the time where you are now, this is live. If it's not, you're listening or indeed watching a recording. My camera's, just a minute. There's a long wire. I know I'm going to trip over that. Let me just move a wire. I just know I'm going to trip over that wire. Just a second. There we are. That's better. Move a plug from one place to the other. It didn't take long, did it? Hope you're well, boys and girls. Tell you a little bit more about my recent trip to... Oh, I've bought something. You remember that chest infection I had last week? I was given steroid sprays. Now, has anyone got any experience at all of steroid sprays? I'm not quite sure what exactly they do. Is there any after effects to these things? If there are, and have you used one before? Because they do appear to be rather marvellous. Now, when I had this chest infection, she was talking about me asthma as well, and how much of the blue pump that I'd been using, you know, the little blue thing, you know, that you use to clear your chest when it's feeling a bit tight. And she said if I was using that a couple of times a day, then it was better to have this steroid spray, which I mentioned on the last show. And you have one in the morning, and one in the evening, and that's all you need. And I haven't used the blue Ventolin thing since at all, so presumably it's doing some good. I wonder if there's any after effects of that. Do you know of any? If you do send us an email with those. Okay, my email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Right, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Do you know of any side effects as used on the old steroid spray? And yesterday I thought I went out and bought one of these things. It's a peak flow meter, which I did. I'm sure I had one of these at some point and I've lost it somewhere. Now, a peak flow meter, again, is something how they test, I think, how bad your asthma's getting or how good it is, depending on which. And when I went in with that chest infection, it's basically this little thing in front of me. It's like a thing that you blow in, okay? And it's got a meter on it that goes from 60 to 800 and about 850 on the meter, okay? And the idea is you're blowing it, and the higher the needle goes, the better your lungs are. Now, when I had a chest infection, I only got up to about 350, which was quite low. So I bought this yesterday from Boots the chemist without a prescription. I thought, oh, it'd be cheaper without the prescription. How wrong was I? £12 this cost, dear. £12 for a bit of plastic that you blow into. It's a liberty, that's what it is. And is everything working today? Hello? Nothing's working, is it? I've just realised. Is everything working? Yes, it is working. It is working. Okay, I thought nothing was working then for a minute. I couldn't see any needles going up and down in front of me. Anyway, back to the meter. Yeah, the idea is you blow in it. So we're going to give this a go now. I bought this yesterday, £12, dear. It would only have been £7.80 on the prescription. I should have gone to the doctors first, shouldn't I? Never mind. So let's try this now. Let's see what we get today. My normal is about 550, 600, 650, somewhere in between those two. So do I need to stand up while I'm doing this? I don't know. Oh, let's try it sitting down. So I'm going to blow into my peak flow meter now. Here we go. Oh, that's not very good. 420. Oh. I'm sure I'm on my way out. I'll stand up and do it. 1 minute. £4.50. Is that good? It's not as good as it was yesterday. Yesterday it was £5.50. One more. Oh, that's now 500. So it's getting there. So there we are. A new gadget, my peak flow meter. I shall place it back in its plastic box. Oh, it's got I wonder what the instructions say on there, actually. Does it tell you what it should be? Oh yes, it's stand up if possible. Take a deep breath, place the peak flow meter in the mouth and hold horizontally. Oh. Please note that any coughing or spitting into the meter will adversely affect your readings and should be avoided. It doesn't say what it should be though, does it? Note the number. Does it say? It doesn't really say what it should be. I wonder if there's anything on the internet about that. Let's have a look. Might be something on the internet about that. Recordings of peak flow meters. Ah, there we are. There we are. I think that's working now. There you go, Wayne. Sorry, had a bit of a problem there. Now, peak flow meters. 1 minute. Peak flow meter readings. Correct readings? Correct readings. 1 moment, please. Let's have a little look at this. Flow meters. Online asthma information. Is that it? Normal values? Normal peak flow. There we are. Asthma. Normal poke flow. Let's have a look at this. Let's see what it should be. Because I'm not sure. Oh, this service is temporarily unavailable. You can never get a website when you want it, can you? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Do you have one of these peak flow meter readings? We should have a competition to see who gets the lowest and the highest. With prizes for each one, you reckon? One more. I'm going to give it one more go while I'm sitting down. Oh, 550 nearly. It's going up all the time. We're getting better as the show goes along, aren't we? Yeah, I think so. Right. So I was going to tell you a little bit about my sister and my recent visit up north. A wonderful time. The trouble is they always seem to eat all the time. You know, as I mentioned in the last show. At breakfast, they're talking about what they're doing for lunch. And at lunch, they're talking about what we're going to have for dinner. And it just seems to be one non-stop eating marathon whenever I get to my sister's. And then there's all the bits in between. We'll have a packet of crisps in between breakfast and lunch. And there's an ice cream, usually, at some point between... at some point between lunch and dinner. And the eating just goes on. And quite frankly, you know, it's best that I don't stay up there for more than 4 days at a time. I mean, the weight you put on is unbelievable. I put on, I think, 4 pounds while I was there over the 4 days. It's not on, is it? But it is coming down again now. I'm back down to 12 stone 12, I think, today. But it goes on, I find it goes on so easily, don't you? Is it an age thing? Is it an age thing? I think that's what it is. The weight just goes on so easily, it's unbelievable. However, you can lose it again when you come back. I mean, you can't say no to a sausage roll, can you? Or a bag of crisps or an ice cream while you're away on holiday somewhere. Eh? Let me give you the email address again. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Send in, anyone who's asthma, do yourself a peak meter reading thing and send it in, okay? Wayne, who's with us. Good morning, Wayne. It's strange that you're with us this morning, Wayne. I've got 2 gadgets in front of me that tell me how many people are with me at any one time, and neither of them are showing any... I think there's something wrong there. Neither of them are showing any numbers. Yeah, I know you're there. So you reckon the regular is supposed to be about 650, is it? And as I say, mine went to about 350 when I was ill. I'm going to do one more now, okay? I shall stand up and take a big breath. 535. Oh, come on, that ain't too bad, is it? I think we're going to be happy with that. My nieces and nephews are all doing very well. My niece practically runs a pub up north called the Mall, M-A-L-L. And that's in Woodall Spa Village. She's not the manager. She's not the owner or anything like that. I think her title is bar manager, and she practically runs the pub now and is doing very well. When she went into the business, they were quite a few £1,000s in debt, and they're now out of that, apparently. Not only that, but I gather the owner has given her a little rise as well. So I'm very pleased with her. And she looks very happy in her job. Her customers certainly look happy. And it's all very sad, really, because there is another bar just over the road, not too far away from the Mail. I can only describe this place as a converted shop. It looks like a shop. I mean, it really does. The place is called Smarties. Now, I have been there on a couple of occasions. For some reason, I just didn't find it friendly in there. It actually felt like you were drinking in a shop. Very, very strange indeed. Whereas the Mall is a traditional English pub. And whenever she goes into the other bar, she always bumps into people that she's barred and they give her a hard time. Well, don't go in there, dear. It's as simple as that, isn't it? My nephew, so she's doing quite well. My nephew, Gary, he's doing very well as well. He is working in a butcher's. Now, he's been there a few years ago now, and I gather that sometimes, quite often, he's in there on his own doing his work. All right, so they, he's well trusted to do that. So I'm very pleased with that. And Jimmy, my 13-year-old nephew. Now, I'm very, very proud of him. Very proud of him as well, because I don't think he's going to have any problems at all on the business front. And I'll tell you why. As we were walking up the high street, and it was wonderful weather last week, wasn't it? I can't believe I chose some of the best days of the year to go up and visit my sister. I mean, it really was beautiful weather last week. It must have been, I would say, 70, 75 degrees. The sun was shining. Oh, wonderful. And we were walking up the high street, the Woodall Spa sort of main road, just having a look around the shops or something. I can't remember what we were doing now. Probably going to get something else to eat. Another ice cream, no doubt. And he said, as we got past the Indian restaurant, he said, I just need to go into the Indian restaurant. And I said, why are you going there? Remember, he's 13 years old. I said, what you got to go in there for? He said, I saw the lady in the street the other day, and they asked her if she needed anyone to do the washing up. And I've written my number down on a piece of paper. And he went in all on his own, okay? All on his own. He walked into the Indian restaurant, saw the lady who runs it, and there's my number. Please ring me if you need anyone to wash up. Bless his heart. He wants a little job, bless him. Isn't that wonderful? I think that's fantastic. I really do. I wasn't as forward like that when I was younger. When I was 15 or 16, I think, I wanted to get a little Saturday job. And and I'm afraid to say, I have to hold my hands up and admit to this, it was my mum that used to write to places trying to get me a job. My mum is the one that wrote to the post office, or British Telecom as it was by then, and got me the job there, or at least got the forms through. Because I don't know, I just didn't have much get up and go in me. And it was the same at the job at Millet's as well. I can't remember how I got the job in that little privately owned supermarket. Did she write there or not? Sort of, my son is looking for a job, can you help him sort of thing. I had no get up and go in me at all to do anything like this. So top marks for him. There's my number if you want anyone to wash up. Fantastic. Trying to get himself a little job. What else have I written down here? My sister was bitten by her own dog while I was up there. Yes, very, very unusual. But apparently, two of the dogs were fighting over, of course, something simple like a chew. Yeah. I don't think human men fight over things like this, do they? Or women. They only fight over each other, don't they? I mean, the times I've seen boys fighting over usually a girl, and the girls are just as bad. I watched the girls winding the boys up. I've seen that so many times. Young, very pretty girls who get something out of watching two boys fight over them. Why do they do that? Huh? It's a horrible thing. Times I've seen that happening. Anyway, these two dogs, both my sister's dogs, were fighting over a chew. Those little, I don't know, whatever they're made out of. Those things that the dogs are constantly chewing all the time, aren't they? So they were fighting over that. Well, my sister, foolishly, stepped in to stop it, and unfortunately one of the dogs attacked her. bit her arm, and she had to go to the doctors. Very nasty bite as well. I mean, this was quite a deep bite. Apparently there were beads of flesh hanging out. And she had to go to the doctor. She had a tetanus injection. And she had this bandage on and a big plaster on there. But which very quickly leaked through. So we thought she was going to have some stitches. But she simply went back to the... what am I saying now? To the doctors. And had the thing sorted out again. All right, so there's my poor sister. I gather it's getting better now. I did wonder if she was going to have her arm amputated. I'm always here. If anyone needs any work like that done, you know, and you can't afford to go to a private doctor or anything like that, or there's a bit of a queue at your doctor's surgery, come over here and I'll be happy to hack an arm or a leg away if it's causing you any problems. You don't want to go for all that business. All that business of antibiotics and bandages and all that. No, get rid of the problem straight away and hack off that arm. Okay, hack that arm off. Now, we've got a few people with us this morning as well. Wayne, I've already said hello to Wayne. Millie is with us in Minnesota. A little bit late, but better late than ever. Good morning, Millie. And also, young Cat on the Isle of Wight. Good morning to you, look. All a bit late, but as I say, better late than never. Welcome along. Excuse me. Now, what else have I got here? Oh, it did make me laugh. While I was on my way to see my sister, for the first time, I used the sat-nav on my mobile phone. Now, I think it's Nokia now give away a sat-nav on most of their mobile phone. Well, I say give away a sat-nav. That you can download this sat-nav navigation for nothing onto your mobile phone, which isn't going to do a lot for the sat-nav industry, I suppose. But there we go. That's the way it is. I think soon will come the time where you no longer need a sat-nav. It's all going to be on your mobile phone. So indeed, I did download the sat-nav application on my mobile phone, and for the first time I did listen. I did not listen. I did use the sat-nav on the mobile home. I stuck it sort of on. I got a holder on the windscreen and all that, and it worked all right until 4 o'clock when my phone rang. 4 o'clock in the morning. This is while I'm travelling up to my sister's, and the phone rang. And who was it? My little nephew Jimmy, who used the excuse that he went up to go to the toilet and couldn't sleep. And by the way, what time would I be arriving? Oh, bless his heart. He wanted to be there for Uncle Chris. He absolutely wanted to be there for Uncle Chris, which is, isn't that nice? Is that nice? I think so. I think it's very nice indeed. So that's all right, that is. But after he rung, I worked out that the sat-nav on the mobile phone doesn't like other things happening while you're using it. Do you see what I mean? So after that phone call from Jimmy, it got lost. And it couldn't find where it was or anything. I even turned it on, turned it off again, and it wouldn't work. So fortunately, I still had the other sat-nav in the car, so I set that up on the windscreen and I was able to find it there. All right, I'm afraid I damaged my car while I was away. Oh, yes. I reversed. It was in one of those multi-storey car parks. And right down at the bottom of this sort of pillar, down at the bottom of the pillar is like a piece of metal that presumably is protecting the pillar. Painted bright yellow, but which is a complete waste of time really, because it's literally an inch from the ground. You can't see it. And I sort of scraped the bottom bumper of the car along that. Of course, my sister says, "Are you having that? Oh, you'll have to get that fixed." I said, "What do you mean fixed? There's only a bit of yellow paint on the car." She said, "Well, aren't you going to get rid of it?" And I know. Dents and little holes in the car, they don't bother me, as long as they're not going to rust away or anything like that. It is so expensive to fix dents and things in cars, don't you think? Have you ever had a dent in the car or a scratch? And you go, "Oh, could you tell me how much that is?" "Yes, £450. Oh, forget it, I don't want to do it. Fine. Don't want to do it. Charge me a reasonable rate and I'll have it done. But charge me hundreds of pounds for a silly little scratch that isn't going to affect the car. I'm not bothered. So I just don't bother having the car fixed anymore. I have it fixed mechanically. It gets serviced always, you know, every 10,000 miles. It has its full service or whatever happens. Well, I don't know what they do. Do they actually do it? Oh, they must do, don't they? Because you never really know, do you? You know, when you hand your car in to be serviced, how do you know they've done what they say they've done? You don't know. They've had it in there 2.5 hours. For all you know, it could be kind of sitting outside, sitting in that garage for 3 or 4 hours, doing nothing at all. Isn't it? Very, very strange. How do you know? You don't know. When they say, oh, this has to be done, that has to be done, you don't know that. You don't know. You just have to trust what they tell you. Don't you? But scratches, dents, I've got a few dents in the side door. Doesn't bother me. Just drive it along. The car is a means, I've said this so many times to my mate, who's obsessed by the cleanliness and the shine on his car. What did he spend the other day having it washed? £25 he spends going to one of those hand car washes. Mind you, I was fleeced while I was at my sister's by my nephew, who I said, I want you to hoover and wash the car. And he says, oh, no, I haven't got time. I said, well, I'll pay you. He said, how much? I said, I'll give you £10. Nope, not enough. 20? No, not enough. I said, well, how much do you want? He said, go on. I said, I'll give you 40. Yeah, OK then. £40 he charged me, my little nephew, to wash and hoover the car. And no sooner has he got, and it was his fault that I damaged the car. No sooner had I handed over the money, he said, can we go to the shop now and get a computer game? He's got one of those. No, it's not an Xbox. He's selling his Xbox. What's the other one? It's not a Wii. Xbox, Wii, what is it now? No. What's the other one? There's an Xbox, there's a Wii, and there's another one. Can anyone tell? Is it a Nintendo? Anyone tell me what that is? I've got a live Skype in. If you want to join in by Skype, you can do so. But make sure the show's live. It's 23 minutes past 11 on Tuesday, the 28th of September 2010. If it's that time where you are now, you can join in live. My Skype username is United Kingdom Radio, if you've got Skype. OK? Or there's a phone-in number as well. You can phone in a local London number, 020 3287 1488. 020 3287 1488 is my Skype, my phone-in number. And once again, the Skype-in name is United Kingdom Radio if you've got Skype. If you've only got email, that's fine as well. You can join in by email. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. So he's bought this, so he went down to town to buy this computer game. And that's where I damaged the car, actually. Or Wayne's going to tell us, I think, possibly. PlayStation, that's it, that's the one. He's got a PlayStation 3. So he wanted to get a game for that. As soon as I give him the £40, oh, can we go to town now? I want to buy a computer game. And I'm telling him to save the money, dear. Don't spend the money. I said save for your house. 13 years old now. If he was to start saving for his house now, when he wants a house, he'd be laughing. But you can't tell him. Can't save for his house. Got to spend the money as soon as it's in his hand. I'm very, very disappointed. Very disappointed. So when we went into town, now what was the town we went to? Boston, which is quite near Woodhall Spa. So we went there and to a computer game shop. And that's where I went in the multi-storey car park and done damage to the car. I mean, only a little bit of yellow paint. That's all it is. Who's going to notice that? Does anyone look at my car as it's going along saying, oh, there's a bit of yellow paint on the bottom there? Of course they don't. Of course they don't. They don't do it. Do they? They don't even see it. So there's no point in worrying about it. Leave it. So anyway, his computer game wasn't there, so I had to put a £10 deposit on it. I don't know what he did with the other £30. And then on the way home, that's where we got into trouble with the ice creams, you see. Bought ice creams on the way home. Not only that, but we went into a farm shop while on the way home, because I saw a sign. That's the wonderful thing about up north. There's all these little farm shops. And they're on roads where there's no other shop. You know, there'd be miles and miles of fields that you're driving through in Lincolnshire. And then suddenly there'd be 4 houses next to each other on this road and nothing else. Just fields, 4 houses, then nothing again. I love it. Fantastic. Really good. So we went in this farm shop because I saw some plants on special offer. And I managed to get 2 trays of winter pansies. Okay, 20 plants in each tray for £7. Absolute bargain. Not only that, they were doing ready-made hanging baskets, again with winter pansies, and I think there was a couple of cyclamen in there as well, for only how much were they now? £4.50 each. That's all they were. £4.50 for ready-made hanging baskets. You can't go wrong, can you? You absolutely can't go wrong for that. So I'm very pleased with that, with my bargains there. All right. What else can I tell you about my recent visit? Oh, another person who's worried about numbers all the time. Now, I've often said people are obsessed with numbers. I don't understand this constant obsession with numbers. There's a few people here on United Kingdom Radio obsessed with numbers, worried that not enough numbers are listening, concerned about statistics for this, numbers for this. And someone else who's very worried about numbers is my brother-in-law, top man himself, Mr. Martin Butler, husband of my sister, who came in from the pub one night a little bit merry. He would tell you he wasn't drunk, but I'm telling you now, he was merry. And he sat on the settee and we got the telly on. And me and my sister are trying to watch this telly programme. And he said, oh, turn the telly down. I want to talk to Chris about something. And Sharon said, well, we're watching the telly. No, turn the telly down. And he was drunk. And he'd been on my website, Chris Reardon, my personal website, chrisreardon.co.uk. That's where I've got all my pictures and everything like that, okay? My main website, chrisreardon.co.uk. And he says, I've also been on United Kingdom Talk.co.uk, which is the main website for my particular show. And he said, you haven't got a very good position within Google numbers or whatever. I don't know, your popularity on the net. And apparently, my chrisreardon.co.uk popularity is something like 10 million. I'm 10 millionth. And I'm like, yeah, and? He said, well, it should be higher than that. And I'm like, well, why should it be higher? He said, well, you can make it higher than that. And why do I want to make it higher? What is this obsession with numbers? And he said, well, I've been on there a lot less than you. And he is like something like 900,000th. Something around that figure, which, of course, you know, is much higher than I am. But he's worried about it, and I'm not. What is this constant obsession with numbers all the time? None of us are looking to attract advertising or anything like that. We're not bothered. I've always said, and Suko, there's another one, Suko, who does a show here on United Kingdom Radio, obsessed about the fact that perhaps some of the podcast numbers are not as high as she'd like them to be. So what? So one person is enjoying what you do or whatever. 2 people. Does it matter that there aren't 10,000 of them? I don't think it does. Numbers don't worry me at all, and I just don't understand these people that are obsessed with their blooming numbers all the time. Numbers this, numbers that. Oh, and the managers in pubs as well. Oh, how much have we made? You know, and it's a constant obsession with higher and higher numbers all the time. Why is that? Why are you all so worried about your numbers? Don't worry about numbers. They're just little squiggly lines on a piece of paper. Worry more about your personality. There we are. And that's it. So we got my cheap flats. And now I talked to you about my farm shop. Buying a house up there. Every time I go up there, my sister says, when are you going to move up there? Well, there's a few reasons why I can't do this. Number one is all my work is all of it. All my work is in London. You know, I've got a lot of work in London. I enjoy the jobs I do, albeit that they are quite tiring sometimes. I mean, last night, Monday night, I do Belushi's in Hammersmith. I do a karaoke night. Belushi's in Hammersmith every Monday night between 9 p.m. and 1 a.m. What a great night last night. Quite busy towards the end of the night. A lot of people joining in. Fantastic. Fantastic night last night. You know, come out of there. I get back in. I have to put all the stuff away. I get in back in the car. I'm a little bit tired. I get home, go straight to bed. But, you know, I've enjoyed trying to give people a good night. And we had some damn good singers in there last night. I mean, we got the regular singers that come every week. Two of the best singers are Silence. He's a guy with he's got loads of hair. You know, it's like, he could have really long dreadlocks. You know, it's like really spiky hair. He wears one of those, he always wears this hat, like a woolen hat. A wonderful lad. He's about 28, 25, 28, 30 years old, somewhere around that. So that's Silence. He sings every week. And my favourite song that he sings is All By Myself. You know that one? By Erica Carmen. All by myself, don't wanna be all by myself anymore. And then I have cymbals. Oh yes, I like to join in. I have cymbals and then I crash the cymbals together. I have cymbals, I have a tambourine and I have maracas. And these all come out while I am doing karaoke nights. So there's him. There's a guy from Iceland called Isidore, who is in fact Bjork's cousin. Oh yes, what a talented family they are. Bjork's cousin comes in and sings at my little old karaoke nights. Wonderful. So there's him. Another girl who sings every week and is fantastic is Keely. She is so pretty. She's a little thing and all the boys gather around her. Oh, it's hilarious watching them all try and chat her up. You know. Oh, she's got a boyfriend now, so leave her alone. It doesn't stop them, does it? They're all gathered around like flies around a... Well, you know what I mean. There's Keely. Let me think. What other great... Oh, and there's Shirley. She's a big girl, tall. Not fat, big, tall girl. She stands about 6'3", 6'4", and she has got the most amazing voice. Now, what's the one she sang last night? I really like it when she does the soul numbers. Vanessa Williams? She did Vanessa Williams last night. Fantastic voice she's got. Wonderful voice. And you see, I always wind them up. When I know there's a good singer about to start, I always say to people, right, this is her first time. She's very, very nervous. And, of course, they start singing and then his voice comes out. And there's another lad that comes, he doesn't come every week, called Timbo. Now, Timbo is very well known on the karaoke circuit. He goes all over the country to various different karaoke nights singing. Now, he doesn't, the funny thing is, he doesn't look like he's going to have a good voice. You see this bloke get up and you think, oh, this one's going to be no good. And then he sings and it's just wonderful. But he puts everything into it. He runs around the pub with the radio microphone, jumping on chairs and tables and going to people and singing, you know, straight to them. And it's just fantastic, Timbo. And he's got a good voice. And he doesn't do, you know, when he gets up, you think to yourself, oh, he's going to do some Frank Sinatra or Dean Martin. And he doesn't. He does Lady Gaga. Roll, roll, la, 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 da, 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 dun, da, 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 I'm on a bad romance. He does that one, yeah? And he did Poker Face. La, 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 my poker face, poker face. He does all these. Timbo. He's on Facebook. Tim.Partington, I think his name is. Tim.Partington is his Facebook. By the way, I'm on Facebook as well. If you want to join me on Facebook, then my Facebook username is Chris Reardon. What's that noise there? The computer's just whirring away down there, making strange fan noises. Chris Reardon UK is my Facebook username. Chris Reardon UK, all right? Wayne says, statistics, as in the numbers I'm talking about, statistics are based on certain, that's the ones on Google, you know, when, like, apparently I'm 10 million or something like that. Wayne says, statistics are based on search criteria you give. Unfortunately, people pay to raise their profiles. Do they really? Wayne, can you have a quick look at me, Chris Reardon? See where my statistics are on that one? Because I'd be very interested to hear that. Statistics on there, yes. Well, and why do people do it, though? Why are they so worried about their statistics all the time? I don't know. So that's my there was a girl in there last night, actually. I don't know. I just got talking to her, and I said, "Where else do you go?" I said, "We sometimes go out to Kingston on a Saturday night, which actually is not too far from Hammersmith, Kingston." I said, "Would you get a bus back or do you drive?" She said, "Oh no, we get a cab." She said, "It's £50, £50 cab fare from Kingston to Hammersmith." I said, "Well, you're mad. Why do you do that? Wait for the bus." "Oh no, can't wait for a bus." Do you know how much it is on the bus? It's about £2. £2. I don't understand these people that want to pay £30, £40, £50 to sit in the back of a car for 20 minutes. Because that's all it is from Kingston. Kingston to Hammersmith is about 20 minutes, half an hour. No more than that. £50 she pays for that. When I used to go out on a Saturday night, when I was in my 20s, or no, in my teens and 20s, we always got the bus. Always got the bus. £1, I think it was. £1 to go anywhere in London. How fantastic is that? £1. But these people, they get cabs everywhere. I don't understand it. Especially in this climate of austerity measures. I think I need to take austerity measures. Yes, we do. Anyway, that's where I'm going to leave my little trip to my sisters. More to tell you about this. Possibly coming up on the next show. In the next show, there may even be a special guest in the studio, Terry Turner. Now, Terry is coming over here to sort out some software to make the whole station a little bit more automated. It's something I can't. I'm not qualified to do things like this, I'm afraid. I don't understand computer programs, so he's coming to do that. All right. So hopefully he'll be here in the Mirable studio on Thursday's show at 11 o'clock UK time. If you're watching a recording or listening to a recording of the show, you can join us live on Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 11 o'clock UK time, or indeed on Saturday afternoons at 3 o'clock UK time. All right. Just coming up to 20 minutes to 12 on Tuesday, the 28th of September 2010. It's email time, boys and girls. Email time. First of all, the lovely Jennifer. Hello, Jennifer. Who writes, "Hello, Chris. I hope you and all your audience are well. We are all well, my darling, all well together. We are well and we are keeping our spirits raised in this time of hardship and austerity measures." Jennifer says, "I just had to put in my 2 cents worth in regard to Millie's email about her being ashamed to be a US citizen. On one hand, I agree with her, and on another, I don't." Jennifer says, "I am very proud to be a US citizen, especially since I have relations with our founding fathers, Quincy Adams, which I have mentioned some time ago. Being that this country was founded on the freedom of religion as a basic right, I have to support it. I choose to worship God in my own way and not get any flack about it. And I choose to speak out about what I wish and not get thrown in jail for it. I will admit that when I first heard about the pastor who was going to burn the Koran, I was all for it. But then I had to stop and think how wrong I was. Where is the freedom to worship that our fathers fought for us before? Not only is it a disrespect to the religion, it would certainly brought harm to our troops in the Middle East. This is a very sore spot with me. I have family in the military who are fighting over in the Middle East and putting our troops in danger over a callous act that would be ultimately stupid. I am proud of all our servicemen and women, and they and their families sacrifice so much in the name of freedom. Need I add that a callous act would ignite more rage and potentially cause an Islamic extremist to react and do something devastating to our land and people again. This pastor, who only has a congregation, right? This bloke on the telly, you must have seen him on the news. He only has a congregation of about 25 or 40 people. He does not practice what Christianity preaches. He is breeding hate and violence, which is downright wrong. Where is the love and forgiveness that Christ demanded of us? I myself try to live by the verse in Romans 12:18, to live at peace with everyone. As of being ashamed of being a citizen of the US, I have recently become embarrassed to be a citizen due to all the political scandals that have come to light in this current presidential administration. Healthcare is forced on me. Politicians and their lies and scandals, tax increases, etc. Why is it when an average citizen gets audited by the IRS, now that the IRS are the tax sort of department in the US, okay? Why is it we get slammed with massive penalties and fees, and when public figures don't pay their taxes, they are elected into a public political office? Nothing seems to touch them. Are they reprimanded? We currently have one senator or congressman who didn't report any income on a property he was renting out and has received a lot of flack about it. Yet still, he gets to serve the people. I say, out with him. They should be held up to the same standards that all us regular people are held to. Where has all the integrity gone? Be it far of me to say I am perfect. I am not. I have made my share of mistakes and have faced them head on. Yes, Jennifer, it does seem to me, and we have exactly the same here in the UK, it seems to me that there is one rule for one and one rule for the other. Certainly where it comes to politicians. Here in the UK, mistakes are made, lies happen, and yet they seem to remain in their jobs most of the time. Another thing that annoys me, Jennifer, is managers, people in charge of large companies, which do badly and then get a pay rise of money that you and I could only dream of if you're that way inclined. Recently, the boss of British Airways, Willy Walsh, just got an enormous pay packet. Enormous. And yet there've been all these strikes and all these problems. And it does seem very wrong to me, you know, how it is that people who are in charge of these companies continue to give themselves huge pay rises. Or among their little friends at the top, it's voted through. We've had it here in where I live in Bracknell over a couple of years. The person in charge of the local council and the colleagues, the people in charge of the council, vote themselves a 10% pay rise or something like that. And then have the audacity to tell us that they're all worth it. And it's just wrong. Reminds me of that book, Animal Farm. Have you read that? Read it. I was also talking about astronomy, and my dear cousin Helen, wonderful, informs me that my other cousin, her brother, Peter, is heavily into astronomy, and he's got this really hugely expensive telescope where he lives. So I might have to send him an email. Anyway, I was saying in a previous programme that I was interested in possibly getting a telescope or so. She said, and of course cousin Helen said, well, why don't you just go to an observatory? And I didn't know you could do this. And presumably, do observatories do trips at night time? Presumably you've got to go at night to see these things, have you? I just think there would be something really wonderful to be able to look through basically a large telescope and see live pictures of Mars or the mountains on the moon. Apparently you can actually do this. You can actually see these things through a telescope. It's all very well, you know, opening a book or looking on Google or something like that at pictures from the Hubble telescope. But to actually look through a device and see the planet in front of you live, I just think that's brilliant. And I was talking about telescopes. I don't really want to spend loads of money and then find I only use it once or twice. And besides, around here, I'm surrounded by trees. With telescopes and that, you know, with a proper... I don't want to buy a cheap one. I don't want to sort of start a telescope, look into the sky and see little white dots. I mean, I can see that now with my eyes. I've got a pair of binoculars. Where are my binoculars? I've got... Here, hang on a minute. I've got this pair of binoculars that is so old. They're all metal. And they're black, little binoculars, they're black binoculars. And these were my dad's when he was in the army. They were made, the writing is now worn off, 1940. There's a date on there, it says Leeds, 1940, possibly 2. I've got my dad's binoculars, and these are really good, these are actually. But you know, and they do work. They do work, but when you look up at the sky, you can't see mountains on the moon. You know, you just basically see the moon. You know, the big white round moon. You can't see any detail or anything like that. And I would like to see a little bit of detail. You know, getting closer to the sky. Would I be able to see the shapes of galaxies and that sort of thing? On the subject of astronomy, Jennifer says her daughter Dallas loves astronomy. She was thinking about pursuing this as a career, but I kind of talked her out of it. Although, of course, she is free to make her own decisions, but I'd like to see her go into pharmacy. There will always be need for a pill dispenser, but on the other hand, she may discover a new galaxy or planet. I wish I had her out in Oklahoma, where at night no light from any city or metropolitan area pollutes the sky. She could see all the millions and millions and millions of stars she doesn't get to see here in the polluted skies of South Florida. As for the telescope, are you sure you're going to be looking up at the skies? Might you use it for some other purpose? No, I will not use it for any other purpose. For looking up at you naughty lady, Jennifer. What are you suggesting? What is it that you're suggesting? Please. I shall be looking into the sky. I tell you where I would see a lot of stars. Norfolk Island. In the South Pacific. I need to think really whether I'm going to buy one of these things or not. Of course, you've got to transport the thing as well, though, then, haven't you? Can you just imagine that? Sitting out there and just looking at galaxies. Wow. There has to be other life out there, doesn't there? I mean, we can't be the only things in all of space. There must be life similar to us on other planets. I've always said that. Jennifer says, do you or anyone have any suggestions for a good snack at work? At about 3 p.m, I get the major munches and tend to find myself out in the warehouse picking through all the damaged cases of cookies and crackers. Oh, I'd be doing the same, Jennifer. I mean, I could say to you, yeah, a banana. Or one of those cereal bars. But they don't taste the same, do they? What about a packet of Cadbury's Dairy Milk chocolate buttons? That'll suit you. Oh, no, that's got me mouth watering now, the thought of those. She says, because of the sugar intake, I only end up getting a sugar high and then crash and have to take a nap in the bathroom. Oh, you don't fall asleep on the toilet, do you, Jennifer? People die on toilets, you know. Do be careful, dear. There's been many, many cases of people actually dying in toilets. Be careful. She says, not to mention I've gained some weight. Well, I hadn't noticed, my darling. Don't worry too much about a little bit of weight gain, my love. I've gained some weight working at the cookie tree and need to eat better. Mind you, not a lot of weight, but I just need to eat healthier. Well, don't worry about a little bit of weight increase, my love. We're all friends here. Last week, I tried to cut up apples and caramel, but I think that just defeats the purpose of healthy when the fruit is smothered with caramel. Yeah, you get that all wrong, dear. You know, have the apple by all means. Don't have the caramel. Incidentally, did I tell you I've got lots of apples on my little apple tree in the garden? Now, I took a load up to my sister's, but she said I haven't actually had one myself, believe it or not. She said they tasted a bit sharp. I haven't really got a lot of space in my garden for trees and that sort of thing, but I do have like a communal area outside of my garden where there's lots of grass and trees, and I'm kind of considering buying some trees and putting those in there. I could put them out there. No one would worry about that. And then all the neighbours and that could help themselves to fruit in the coming years. Because you don't get fruit the first year, do you? Do you get it with plums? Does anyone know that? When you put in a plum tree, do you get plums the next year? Or is there like... certainly with apples, you have to wait 2 or 3 years before you can use them. Yeah. I don't know anything about that. Anyone got a plum tree? Do you get plums straight away? Let us know on the email. My email address, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Jennifer goes on to say, this week it's been grapes, but that gets boring. Yeah, grapes are a bit... I don't know what... I like seedless grapes. I do like seedless grapes. Full of sugar, apparently. Natural sugar grapes. Did you know that? But, I mean, it's got to be better, isn't it? It's got to be better eating a bunch of grapes than a Mars bar. Or a bar of chocolate. It must be. Because it's like, you know, nothing's been done to it, has it? It's just come straight off the tree and you eat it. If you ask me, that's the best way to eat. I reckon the cancer rates and illness rates of people who just eat naturally stuff that has not been processed, you know, stuff that has come straight off a tree or straight out of the ground, I reckon the people who do that have got much less cancer rates and other illness rates than people who eat processed foods. I think the worst thing you can do is live off pre-packaged meals. You know, meal for one, all in a bag. Or put in the microwave, full of salt and sugar, just full of salt and sugar, all of it. She says, today I have cut up apples and peanut butter. And being that I'm not a real peanut butter fan, I'm not enjoying it too much. No, I don't like peanut butter. Horrible stuff. Oh, it's vile, that stuff. We don't like that. I tried peanuts and they make me break out. Isn't that weird? What do you break out in? What, wind? Oh, how awful. Don't eat the peanuts then, dear. I don't like peanut butter, but I love peanuts. Anyway, I'd like to see if anyone would be willing to shoot me some healthy, yummy snack ideas for me to try. Please, they must be yummy. From Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer. In Dallas. No, not in Dallas, in Florida. Dallas is her daughter. Oh, it's very confusing. I don't know what I'm saying. Yes, so has anyone got any good snack ideas for Jennifer? Please send them in on the email. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. All right? Just time for one more email in the show today. There is another one from Jennifer. And I'll read that out in either the next show or the show after. There's also one here. Oh, this is a little bit longer, this one. I don't think we'll start this one. One from our lovely cat lover, Susan. I think I'll leave that as well until... let's have a look at the dates on these. What's the time? 6 minutes. We've got 6 minutes left. Have I got 6 minutes? No, we will do the one from Susan, I think. We'll do the one from Susan. Hello, Susan, who says, hi, Chris. I will write to you this weekend. I've been working 6 days and nights a week. Well, I do that. I work 6 nights a week as well. Susan. But, well, I love it. I love it. This will be my first weekend off. Also, last week, a tornado came through the small town where I live. Are you sure it was a tornado and not a Tasmanian devil? As on Bugs Bunny programmes. What's that? Oh, quick message from Wayne. Wayne says, I typed your name. Top answer. United Kingdom Talk and United Kingdom Radio, top answers on Google too. That's what counts. Criteria is good on sites. Thank you very much. It's apparently if you type in Chris Reardon in Google, I am at the top. How wonderful is that? Don't worry that I'm 10 millionth. I don't know what he's going on about, my brother-in-law. Him and his numbers. Anyway, back to this email. Susan says, the tornado passed within a mile of my house. Thankfully, my cat is fine. Tail on the cat. He was home alone at the time. I was just leaving work when the news came over the Weather Channel. We had a Weather Channel here for a while and it disappeared. I don't know why. I thought the information below might be of interest to you. I found it very useful. I'm going to put a can in my car as well. You never know who might come along if your car breaks down in a bad area. And it says, no government licence required yet. I know some of you own guns, this is in the UK, but this is something to think about. And she includes a picture of a Wasp Hornet killer can of spray stuff. You know, that's insect spray stuff. And she says, if you don't have a gun, here's a more humane way to wreck someone's evil plans for you. Did you know this? I didn't. I never really thought of it before. I guess I can get rid of the baseball bat. Wasp spray. A friend who is a receptionist in a church in a high-risk area was concerned about someone coming into the office on Monday to rob them when they were counting the collection. She asked the local police department about using pepper spray, and they recommended to her that she get a can of wasp spray instead. Now, the wasp spray, they told her, can shoot up to 20 feet away and is a lot more accurate. While the pepper spray, they have to get too close to you and they could overpower you before you use it. The wasp spray temporarily blinds an attacker until they get to the hospital for an antidote. Now, I didn't know this. She keeps a can on her desk in the office and it doesn't attract attention from people like a can of pepper spray would. Now, I don't think we're allowed to have pepper spray in the UK. The police have got it, but I'm pretty convinced normal people like myself, I say normal. I mean, what's normal? Do I look normal to you? I thought not. She also keeps one nearby at home for home protection. Thought this was interesting and might be of use. So, yes, it is very interesting. So that's a good idea, isn't it? A wasp. You could keep that in the car, on the seat next to you in the car and leave the top off. So if anyone comes in the window, psst, spray it in their mouth. Psst, spray it in their faces and keep away from my car. Thank you very much. She says, on the heels of a break-in and beating that left an elderly woman in Toledo dead. Self-defense experts have a tip that could save your life. Now listen to this. Val Glinker teaches self-defense to students at Sylvana Southview High School. For decades, he suggested putting a can of wasp and hornet spray near your door or bed. She says, this is better than anything I can teach them, Glinker said. Glinker considers it inexpensive, easy to find, and more effective than mace or pepper spray. The cans typically shoot 20 or 30 feet, so if someone tries to break into your home, Glinker says, spray the culprit in the eyes. It's a tip he's given to students for decades. It's also one he wants everyone to hear. If you're looking for protection, Glinker says, look to the spray. That's going to give you the chance to call the police, maybe get out, maybe even save a life. Please share this with all the people who are precious to your life. Did you also know that wasp spray will kill a snake? Did you know that? I didn't know that. And a mouse. It will. Good to know, huh? It will also kill a wasp, incidentally. Well, I should hope so. It says wasp. Well, I didn't know a wasp spray would kill a snake. That's new to me, that one. Anyway, boys and girls, that's it today. Thank you very, very much for joining me on the show this morning. All right, I shall be with you again live on Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock and indeed Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock UK time as well. Now, there's no Mike Cullen today. He's on holiday for a few weeks. If you want to go to the main website for this show, you can find that at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. All right, unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. That's my website, and indeed you can also join in by email. My email address, if you want to send an email in for the next show, is chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Thanks very much for watching and listening. Don't forget, we have a special guest in the studio on Thursday's show at 11 o'clock UK time in the form of Terry Turner. Thanks very much for watching and listening. From myself, Chris Reardon. Bye-bye now.